President Ramaphosa admits that the ANC is falling behind the DA and gives councillors 100 days to turn it around. Today we're unpacking that political shakeup, Joburg's water crisis buried deep in Lesotho's mountains, and why global reinsurers are pulling back just as climate risks ramp up. Plus, in the Wildcard, South Africa's coastline becomes a highway for giants, and we get front row seats. My friends, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss the stories that matter. And now, with all that out the way, let's get into it. Stealing from government is stealing from the people. That is the blunt warning that ANC elder Frank Jacane delivered to 4,800 councillors gathered at FNB Stadium this week. He told them that hiding behind government money is a lie because every cent looted is taken straight from the households already battling without food, water, or working infrastructure. But it wasn't just a moral scolding. You see, President Ramaphosa, seated just meters away from colleagues facing corruption allegations, made a rare admission that DA-run municipalities are outperforming ANC ones and that the ruling party should learn from them. He pointed to Cape Town and Stellenbosch as examples of financial discipline and basic service delivery that the ANC just can't keep ignoring. And look, the timing isn't exactly accidental, with municipal elections looming next year and the ANC still reeling from its 2021 drop below 50%. Local government has become a make or break frontline. Communities in Northwest and Free State are already in open revolt over collapsing water systems and unpaid debts. So the marching orders are clear. Fix it and fast. Ramaphosa told councillors they have 100 days to show progress, patch potholes, collect waste, fix water leaks, or risk watching the ANC's political future drain away with them. As for you though, what do you think? How do these ANC-run municipalities look in the next 100 days? Joburg's biggest crisis isn't potholes or power cuts, it's arguably water. Gauteng, the country's economic engine, relies heavily on the Lesotho Highlands water project to keep its taps running. But things are going pear-shaped. So Phase 1 in the 1990s delivered the Katsa Dam, which became a key supply line to Gauteng. Now Phase 2, which was meant to finish in 2019, is now 7 years late and almost 7 times over budget, ballooning from 8 billion rand to 53 billion rand. Now, communities in Lesotho say that they are paying the price. About 1,600 people have filed an official complaint to the African Development Bank, alleging displacement, damaged homes, and poor compensation. They want the project halted until safeguards are enforced. Now, the irony here is that they are not opposed to the water plan itself, they are opposed to the harm. Now, for Johannesburg, every delay makes taps more uncertain. For Lesotho, every tunnel blasted risks more social upheaval. And with the completion now pushed till 2030, South Africa's most ambitious water lifeline is becoming just as political as it is practical. So most of us know how insurance works. You pay a premium, and if disaster strikes, the insurer pays out. Hopefully. But what happens when that disaster is too big for a single insurer to cover? Well, that's where reinsurers step in. They're like insurance companies for insurers. They are this hidden safety net that makes sure that one hurricane, flood, or wildfire doesn't bankrupt the system. But you see, according to S&P Global Ratings, that backstop is shrinking. You see, over the past 5 years, the world's top 19 reinsurers have more than halved their exposure to catastrophe losses. Why? Because climate disasters aren't just getting bigger, they're getting harder to predict. Beyond these obvious hurricanes and floods, secondary perils like wildfires and severe storms are sparking, and the models that they use to price them are often falling short. And look, it's not that these reinsurers are broke. Far from it. I mean, S&P says that they now have the capital to absorb the equivalent of 3 Hurricane Katrinas in a single year. But in saying that, they're being more selective, tightening terms and charging higher prices. Now, as a knock-on effect for us ordinary folk, that means higher premiums and in some cases, insurers pulling back from risky areas altogether. And before we cruise on to our Bagel Bite of the day, here's a couple other headlines worth knowing. According to the Bureau for Economic Research, South Africa's 5-year inflation outlook has dropped to a record low of 4.2%. Now, as a result of that, analysts and unions have revised their forecast down, though households still expect much higher price growth at 5.5%. The Auditor General has slammed the UIF's books again, saying that ghost employees and dead workers may have pocketed some of the 64 billion rand payout in COVID-19 relief. 5 years later, and the fund still can't verify who got what. And OUTsurance is offloading nearly 1 billion rand in non-core assets inherited from its old parents RMR. Stakes in fintech firms like Intersect and Prodigy are on the chopping block as the insurer moves to simplify its group structure. And on to our Bagel Bite of the day. Let's see what you got. The question is, which Asian country was called Ceylon until 1972? Was it A, Sri Lanka, B, Vietnam, or C, Cambodia? We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. And on to our Wildcard section. Every year from June to December, South Africa's coastline turns into one of the best whale watching spots on the planet. Now, not just Hermanus, the whole east coast, humpback and southern right whales trace these giant migration arcs that bring them right up to our shores. Now, the humpbacks make the longest commute. They leave the icy waters of Antarctica and ride the warm Agulhas current, keeping surprisingly close, often within 10 to 15 kilometers of the coast. And their journey will take them northwards, where they go and breed in the tropics. And then months later, they'll swing back down south to feed. And on the way, you'll spot them breaching, tail slapping, and moving in these massive, massive pods. And then there's the southern right whales, which treat Hermanus like a maternity ward. I mean, Walker Bay becomes a nursery where mothers roll slowly with their calves, often close enough that you can see them from the cliffs. It's earned Hermanus global fame, with surveys once recording more than 250 whales in the bay in a single day. So whether you're in Durban or Hermanus, just remember that our coastlines are like a highway for giants, and we get front row seats. And as for that Bagel Bite, the answer is Sri Lanka. Colonized by the Portuguese in the 1500s, later ruled by the Dutch, and then the British, who called it Ceylon, until the country reclaimed its current name in 1972. And my friends, that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching this one as much as we enjoyed putting it together. Hope you guys all have a great day. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for the next round of the good stuff. Cheers.